Hello, and welcome. And if you have just come from watching part 1 of this video, then welcome back. I will be going through some more tips and advice I have to help you get the most of your iPhone battery by tweaking some of the settings for options you may not use on your device, as well as looking at some of the physical aspects that can help your battery last a bit longer. So, if you're ready, let's crack on then. I will give you a few small tips on using Siri and helping to conserve some battery life. If you look through the web, you will see that this is a bit of a controversial subject, but if you have a look at our website at viewediphone.com, we will give you the true facts about how Siri uses power from your iPhone battery, and a detailed list of what you can do to help conserve that all-important battery charge. So here are a few simple tips you can implement. There's 2 ways to look at Siri and your battery. If you never ask Siri a question, simply shut it down under the settings menu, as when it is left on, it still connects to Apple's servers over a network connection periodically, for updates and diagnostics. So switching it off saves power. Siri doesn't do much unless you ask it something, and it can very easily be turned on again. But if you do use it, think about this. Asking Siri a question is usually quicker than typing it into a web browser, which in turn means the battery is put under less strain, especially over a Wi-Fi connection, providing you don't use it too heavily and don't have the volume set to maximum. This is all really down to personal taste and needs. As mentioned before, disabling the Raise to Speak option does save considerable power due to the use of the proximity sensor. Disable the iCloud automatic backup. iCloud works the same way as push data, where data is being transmitted from your iPhone to Apple's servers in the background. If you don't need to back up to iCloud remotely, turn it off under iCloud in the settings menu. You can also individually select what's backed up to, and the fewer there are, the less time it takes, thus improving battery performance. Turn off your vibration settings. If you receive a lot of phone calls, messages or alerts, your phone's vibrator is working overtime. If you don't absolutely need it, you can save precious battery life by turning it off. If you're not sure how to do this, simply open up the settings menu, then follow the instructions you see behind me. These are usually set to on as default, and you can choose when you want your iPhone to vibrate. You can turn off the location service for the onboard Maps app. This uses a GPS connection, and it can still be accessed just by typing in your location and saving it. Also, if you have a third-party weather app, it makes no sense leaving the generic app service that came pre-installed on your iPhone switched on if you never use it. If you are not constantly on the road, or just not interested, you will save some power by turning it off. If you have a GPS application such as a satellite navigation system, when you're not using it, make sure it is fully switched off. Some of these apps still run in the background, and can take a serious chunk out of your battery's charge. There are some sat-nav systems that have the option to turn the application off when you close the app, so make sure this option is enabled in the app settings menu. Heat can be the single most degrading factor to your iPhone's performance. Make sure you keep your iPhone out of direct sunlight or a hot car. The same applies to extreme cold conditions as well. If you're traveling anywhere in extreme temperature conditions, consider insulating your device. Not only will this save power, but will also reduce the risk of permanent damage to your iPhone. Your iPhone runs off of a lithium-based battery. To properly maintain it, It's important to occasionally keep the electrons inside the cell moving. You do this by making sure you go through one full charge cycle, by completely running it down, then recharging the battery back to 100%, at least once a month. You may hear that this has no effect to your battery's charge, but be assured, it has been tested and it actually does make a difference. You may not think it, but having the iPod equalizer on during music playback can actually drain your battery. If you're not fussed about top sound quality, switch it off and use the default setting. Your music will still sound just as good. Something else that drains power quickly is listening to music using the iPhone speaker. Using headphones or a speaker dock will reduce power usage, and your tunes will sound much better. Another way you can save some juice is using airplane mode. If you've got little to no coverage, then obviously you can't make calls. So putting your iPhone into airplane mode makes a difference, since your handset won't be using power to continuously search for a network signal, and you still will be able to listen to music, or use apps that don't use a cellular signal, like using the camera, or composing a message, then sending it when you have a signal. You can charge your iPhone using a lot of devices that has a powered USB port, as well as connecting your iPhone to most computers, with or without iTunes installed. This will not only save power, but will charge the iPhone. Disconnect any USB peripheral devices to increase the charging rate, especially when using a laptop. This is handy if you don't have a spare wall socket, or you have mislaid or damaged charging plug. Also useful if you want to keep your device close to you, and there is no free wall socket nearby. If you know you're going to be by an accessible computer, it's easier to carry a cable in your pocket than a charging plug. Some of the older USB charging cables that were shipped with iPhones in the past could wear out quickly at the 30-pin connector end of the cord. So it's a good idea to check that your power cord is not damaged in any way, as this can cause an incomplete charging cycle, or not charge altogether. Try not to disconnect the cable from the phone by pulling the wire, but try to use the solid plastic jack by pinching it, then pulling it out. Of course, the ultimate way to save your remaining power, let's say for instance, if you're on a night out, your iPhone battery is down to 10%, and you need that remaining charge to order a cab to get home, is simply power off your device, and turn it back on when you really need it. Also, if you're at work, or at the gym, and you leave your phone in a locker, it doesn't really need to be on, does it? Besides, switching your iPhone off from time to time is quite a good thing to do, as it gives the processor a rest, as even when your device is locked, it is still working in the background. Turning it off for a while will also help to extend your iPhone's battery's lifespan, and soft resets the device's software and installed apps. And finally, before trying or applying any of the tips I have given you, have a look and see how long your battery typically lasts on the usage menu. Then have a look again after applying the changes you want, and check the difference. To do this, press Settings, then General. Now open the usage page. You will see two categories under the subheading of Time since last full charge, with different stats. First, Usage. The amount of time your iPhone has been in use since its last full charge. Your iPhone is considered to be in use when you are on a call, sending and receiving text messages, using email, listening to music, browsing the web, or certain background tasks such as when it auto-loads your email. Second, Standby. The amount of time your iPhone has been powered on since its last full charge. This includes the time your iPhone has been asleep. We're not saying you should disable all the options we have listed, as it would defeat the purpose of having a device such as an iPhone. Not everyone uses all the features a smartphone comes with. So it's worth looking into turning off the options you don't or won't use, leaving you extra power to use the functions and applications you do. Smartphones such as the iPhone are made and set up to be personally customized to the user's specific requirements, as there won't be many users who will use every single feature or option on their devices. Well, that's it from me. I hope you found this two-part video helpful, and you managed to get some useful advice you can use. Why not log on to our website to see a more detailed list of what we have covered, as well as a selection of iPhone accessories, such as battery extenders, and more, as well as news and more iPhone tips and advice you may not be aware of. So, from me, Lisa, thank you for watching. Goodbye.